this is Enchanted LifePath TV. We've just started back on here now because don't want this to seem stupid, but this little witch, Kay Burley, SLY News, every time she hosts a show, something happens in the week, and then the little dress is all called into little things as well. She always wears a green dress nearly every time she's on here. A couple of times in the last week, she's been in this orange one. I don't know why she chooses to wear the same clothes every single day, but they tell me something. I see them as little signs, little codes. Now she's back again, and look at this little 10 minutes of news broadcasting, and just sift through it, and see if you see what I see. Just let me check my mic levels and what have you. Yeah, they seem sound. Do you know what? I'll probably leave the mic and the desktop on this time. Sorry about the sound quality, it will drop a bit, but I want to pause it and speak quick. And when I press me, go on, shut up anyway. Just
he did, although he is basically saying, say it again and let's see what happens. And I say again that how distasteful this is, that both sides are arguing as this woman sees her husband's coffin come back from where he perished in Niger. She pays her respects, and we've seen the images of her talking to her loved one in the coffin, and both sides are arguing about it. Whatever has been said, surely now is not the time to have those discussions.
Well, you know, I think it's also important to remember that the family has now spoken out and said that Donald Trump did speak to them in a way that they found to be very disrespectful. Donald Trump, as the AP reported, the Associated Press reported just a few moments ago, that they've already been able to find 2 other families who have had a family member be killed in action since Donald Trump took office, who received no communication from President Trump or the White House. But Donald Trump started this. Look, Donald Trump...
Is there anyone in that coffin? Not being funny or not, is this the newest load of shit? Is there anyone in this coffin?
Went 12 days after it was reported that the 4 Green Berets were killed in an ambush in Niger before commenting.
Would be called Johnson, wouldn't he?
On it. And then at a press conference, suggested that he just been able to find time to do so. Yet during that same amount of time, Donald Trump found plenty of time to play golf, tweet about NFL football protest, tweet about ESPN, tweet about how Bob Corker's height, United States Senator, but yeah, and of course found time to...
Who's this little Jew? How programmed are you, mate? Your eyes aren't moving, the only thing's moving is your mouth.
Golf more. And then suggested that he somehow...
What's wrong with your teeth?
...was better than previous presidents at communicating with families who had...
Why does he look about 12? It's like a woman, a little 12-year-old girl, and he's dyed his hair grey and put a moustache and a beard on it.
...had lost people in combat zones, and that's just simply not the case.
And what the fuck are you talking about us for? Why are you the man to tell us this? This isn't the report
And
what I've come on
Donald
to look
Trump,
at, by the way.
I believe he's
just annoying me. Come on, mate, speak properly. It's like you're about to drop dead while you're talking.
This, and I believe that, yeah, he said that, and it's not surprising at all.
I suppose he would also...
We've already been able to find 2 other families who have had a family member be killed in action since Donald Trump took office, who received no communication from President Trump or the White House. But Donald Trump started this. Look, Donald Trump went 12 days after it was reported that the 4 Green Berets were killed in an ambush in Niger before commenting on it. And then at a press conference, suggested that he just been able to find time to do so. Yet during that same amount of time, Donald Trump found plenty of time to play golf, tweet about NFL football protest, tweet about ESPN, tweet about how Bob Corker's height, United States Senator, but yeah, and of course found time to golf more. And then suggested that he somehow was better than previous presidents at communicating with families who had lost people in combat zones. And that's just simply not the case. And Donald Trump, I believe, did say this, and I believe that...
You are putting me asleep. You have just literally put me asleep. I've just nearly fell asleep watching you. Why have you got the most babyish skin in the world with grey hair? Who are you? You fucking weirdo. Stop going on with yourself. Just come and get to the news what I want to get to. Can't even listen to him again. Not a second of him. Now here she is, look at her. Kay Burley, orange 33. Remember when she had some diamond man on once with a little orange dress on, talking about diamonds, which is 33 in geometry, by the way. Look at her eyes here, she looks like she's having a fit. This one's gone down. That eyeball appears to be down. And that one looks like it's up, let's see.
Boroughs of Greenwich.
Yeah? Whoa, 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 what the fuck's her eye doing? See that then? That's just flickered something insane. Watch this. Oh, we haven't got to look at him, have we, in slow motion? Put us all to sleep. Look at me. Looks like a little leprechaun. Looks like a woman with a beard stuck on him.
Offering.
No, shut up.
The rest of my life.
Rest of my life. Thank you.
For joining as well.
Now, this is strange. Look at her eye.
Police are hunting a
What's it called?
potential serial child sex offender suspected
Holy
of
fucking shit,
targeting
Kay Burley, what's going on
girls
with
as
your
young as
eyeball? Your right
11.
eyeball's just flipped.
7
Look at it.
victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich
You can't control it.
and Lewisham. Our crime correspondent Martin Brunt has the latest for us.
And
What
these
are
are just talking about
police saying
paedophiles, promoting
about
them.
this, Martin?
They believe that this is this series of attacks is done by one man, and they are desperate to catch him. They've issued a description of him. It's not a very
It's you. Look at you with your paedophile glasses, your paedophile hair, your paedophile tie, your paedophile coat, your paedophile shirt, everything about you. So look, they're looking for the man.
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached.
Right, we can take it up to 1080 to see if we can get better visuals on that scatty eyeball of hers. There he is again, little girl, little leprechaun girl.
In a public way. And as a veteran, I'm indebted to your entire family for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Thank you for joining as well. Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich and Lewisham. Our crime correspondent Martin Brunt has the latest for us. What are police saying about this, Martin?
They believe that this is...
Right, I'm not sure if anyone's here, but I've got to shoot out a moment, so to not kill this stream, what I am thinking is I may just leave this on running, because it's only SLY news. Leave it on running for you to watch it, just to take the notes out of it that you know I'm going to be making anyway. So, and I'll just document it a little bit like this. I'll only be about 10-15 minutes or something, so I'll be back quite fast anyway. But I may just leave this on just because I want to document this part of the news. It may not get hold of it again. So this is unbelievable. Keep your eye on her eyeball as well. Right, I should be able to get back and find it. Hear this story out properly. I'll knock my mic off. Right, my mic's going off now.
series of attacks is done by...
About nuclear weapons and taunting world leaders, putting our active military forces in danger, of course none of whom are his children. I don't think Donald Trump would be tweeting about Rocket Man if Ivanka Trump was wearing a flak jacket and stationed at the DMZ on the Korean Peninsula. I don't think Donald Trump would be taunting Iran if Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. were in a line company in the United States Marine Corps. But they're not. And Donald Trump, someone who actively worked to avoid service when it was his time to serve, now does everything he can to put more Americans into harm's way by going out and starting wars. I mean, look, Donald Trump, yes, he is anti-veteran, he is anti-military family, and he is a chicken hawk to boot.
Okay, final thought. Shall we return to offering a dignified condolence to Sergeant LaDavid John's family?
Yes, look, this is, thank you so much for the sacrifice that your son made. I'm so sorry that you're having to go through this process, and I'm sorry that you're having to do so in a public way. And as a veteran, I am indebted to your entire family for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Will. Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich and Lewisham. Our crime correspondent Martin Brunt has the latest for us. What are police saying about this, Martin?
They believe that this is this series of attacks is done by one man, and they are desperate to catch him. They've issued a description of him. It's not a very detailed description. A white man aged between 40 to 50 years old with short white or blonde hair. But they have put out some pictures of a recent suspect. These images show a man on Monday night. He's running down the street, a street called Honor Oak Road in SC Southeast 23. They believe this is the last or the latest in a series of 9 assaults, and they're asking people to get in touch. There are 7 children who've been the subject of this, what they think is a series of assaults, aged between 11 and 13. Also 2 other victims, women in their 20s. But police believe there may be more victims of this attacker, and they want them to contact them for 2 reasons, really. They want to hear more of what they've been through, perhaps offering a bit more detail of a description of their attacker, but they also are concerned that there may be women out there who've been attacked who need some help. Police making the point that although this isn't at the top end of the spectrum of sex assaults, they describe it as sexual touching, and although none of the victims have been physically hurt, they say the effects of becoming a victim of any sexual assault can be lasting and traumatic. Anybody who knows anything should call the police.
Okay, thank you. Families of those who died in the Grenfell fire say they're being insulted by the UK's compensation laws, which could see them receive paltry payouts for their loved ones. Police believe more than 80 people may have died in the fire. So far, 69 victims have been named. Families can claim just under £13,000 per victim for bereavement. It's estimated people could claim around £30,000 for damages to personal belongings. At least 3 people have been killed in what police say was a targeted attack on an office park in Maryland. Police are looking for Radid Labib Prince, a 37-year-old suspect who has connections with the targeted business. 2 other people were also shot in the incident.
Around 8:58 this morning, a report of a shooting at Advanced Granite Solutions in the 2100 block of Emerton Park Road, as you all know, just down the hill behind us. Deputies were on the scene within 4 minutes, arriving at 9:02 a.m., where they discovered 5 people suffering from gunshot wounds. Currently, we have lost 3 of those people. 3 have passed away. This does appear to be a target attack limited to that business. So with that, I am going to take, we are asking that if anyone sees the suspect, he obviously armed and dangerous. We don't want anyone to take action on their own. We want you to dial 911 and let us know. We do believe he is associated with that business. What that association is, that's still under investigation, but we believe he's associated with that business.
Still to come for you on Sky News at 5, the calls for the legislation of cannabis to protect young people in the UK.
This is Sea Dragon and her crew.
Wave!
We've been sailing around the UK, looking for plastics in our waters and trying to raise awareness as we go. In Scotland, the tail end of a hurricane forced a change of route through the Caledonian Canal and eventually to Loch Ness.
1, 2, 3.
A chance for some science in breathtaking surroundings.
So we found a little piece there, that bright blue colour, really obvious.
Found in nature.
The expedition continues out into the North Sea, stopping along the way to remove litter floating in the water miles from shore.
It's a child's happy birthday balloon, and you can see that it's a 2-year-old's birthday, which is lovely, and I wish the child in question a very happy birthday. The sad thing about this is that this balloon, which is probably quite fresh, it's still got a lot of its gold colour on it, so the child is probably still only 2. The balloon in the marine environment will last a lot longer than the child.
We sail on. The wind is with us, and Sea Dragon speeds down to London.
London VTS, Sea Dragon, we are now within sight of the barrier, over.
Oh, it's lifting!
Tower Bridge is being raised for Sea Dragon.
Anyway! Anyway!
And after all the weeks of sailing and challenges, it is a magical moment. After a few days in London, it's time to leave. Sampling the water in the Thames on our way, we find duckweed crunchy with microbeads.
Hello again, you're watching Sky News at 5 this Wednesday afternoon. Researchers are warning that a mental health crisis caused by super-strength cannabis is being exacerbated by government policy, which puts criminalisation ahead of young people's welfare. They're calling for the creation of a tightly controlled legal market in cannabis that would allow the harmful effects of new strains to be managed. Our health correspondent Paul Kelso reports.
For teenagers like this student in Wolverhampton, killing time with a joint is unremarkable. But with cannabis getting stronger, the effects are unpredictable.
If you know it's clean weed, then you're right. You haven't really got anything to worry about. But some kids these days, they don't know what they're buying, and they get some weed for cheap, and it's not really good. Really, it can cause problems later on.
What sort of problems?
I mean, they could get paranoid or anxious or even depressed.
Super strength cannabis is the norm on the streets, But a new report by think tank Voltfas and Manchester Metropolitan University warns that these highly potent strains are fueling a mental health crisis. Jodie was a nurse until an addiction to weed sent her career off the rails.
It come to a point where I was actually diagnosed with a mental health, drug-induced mental health problem, which was a personality disorder, which I still have to take medication for today, and I probably will for the rest of my life. But looking back at it, I would, if I knew anybody that was tempted to being offered it now, I'd say don't touch it, because it's a gateway to hell.
Sunny de Hadley works with recovering addicts every day. He says the poor are hit hardest.
It's probably as available as buying a bottle of milk, let's be honest, within society. So I think, you know, we need to do much more in terms of raising awareness, so that at least we can inform people about the potential dangers and harms that are associated with it. If you're the child of a wealthy family, then more than likely you'll end up going to rehab. But however, if you're the child of perhaps somebody who's a family that's not wealthy, then more than likely you'll end up being incarcerated.
Cannabis may be illegal, but super strength varieties are readily available on the street across Britain. This report's authors say the government simply has no strategy for dealing with it. They are calling for legalisation and regulation to help protect the mental health of users.
The police say they will continue to enforce the law. Smokers will continue to ignore it and take their chances. Paul Kelso, Sky News in Wolverhampton.
Looking at the weather for you now here on Sky News.
From a fresh coastal breeze to watching the sunset on the Australian outback.
Showers will spread across Scotland tonight, and Ireland will turn wet and windy, but Northern Ireland, England and Wales will be mainly dry. Before then, many places will be dry this evening, but there'll be some showery rain through central parts. Showers will push across Scotland overnight, becoming largely confined to northern Scotland by morning. 1 or 2 showers will follow to central parts of England, but the rest of the UK will just about stay dry.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
Still to come, in the wake of Weinstein's scandal, is the Me Too hashtag helpful? And should women always stick together? Stay tuned. watching Sky News. Our top stories for the FA chief exec has denied blackmailing player Eni Aluko after she criticised his handling of racism claims. Ministers have scrapped phone charges for the controversial Universal Credit premium rate hotline, but they've resisted calls to halt the national rollout of the scheme. And President Trump has denied allegations that he told a widow of a US soldier killed in combat that he knew what he'd signed up for. Now, the Harvey Weinstein scandal has spawned a movement. The Me Too hashtag was started by the actress Alicia Milano, and the idea is female solidarity and a sense of the magnitude of the problem. Today, the journalist Sarah Vine has argued the opposite. She says it trivialises the suffering of genuine victims and that some of the examples don't amount to sexual harassment. So, is she right? Or should women always stick together and support each other? The journalist and broadcaster Angela Epstein joins us from Manchester, while Rebecca Morden, an actor and feminist activist, is in our central London studio. Hello to you ladies both. Angela, to you first of all. What do you make of what Sarah Vine had to say today? Should women always stick together and support each other?
I think they should stick together if the cause warrants them to stick together. I always think that this idea of sisterly solidarity is a bit of a misnomer. There are vast tracts of research that show some women don't do well under female bosses because of the whole Queen Bee situation. I know myself, I'm not using the word victim, but I've been sort of trolled by so-called militant feminists because I haven't towed the feminist line in some of the things that I've said, which seem terribly counterproductive, because if we're talking about women and equality, my opinion is as valid as somebody else's, even if they don't agree with it. So I think the problem is it's the cliche of throwing out the baby with the bathwater. There are certain causes which are societal causes, such as equality. Now, they affect everybody. It's not just a cause for women, it's a cause for men and women. Just as sexual objectification, sexual abuse, it's a matter for the whole of society to have the conversation and make sure that we address it. But equally, if we sort of come in together as one homogenous lump and say every single little thing has to be a feminist, a women's cause, then I think we overlook, I think Sarah Vine is absolutely right, we overlook the very serious stuff and in the process potentially weaponise and therefore trivialise the wider debate.
Rebecca?
I think it's really, really important to remember that, for a start, personally, I feel very empowered by the radical feminist movement, and we're all reaping the benefits of what it's offered us over the years. The fact that we can fight for equal rights at work and in pay, the fact that we can get into universities, the fact that we can have legal, safe abortions. These are all things that feminism has done for us. So I personally am a big, on the shoulders of giants, advocate of working together in sisterhood. I think in terms of the Me Too hashtag, it's been a fantastic thing. I think what's really obvious from Sarah Vine's comments is that she hasn't properly read this strain of Twitter. What the Me Too strain does, what the hashtag has done, is allow women who are looking at a situation like the stuff that's going on in Hollywood and thinking, I feel like this has happened to me, but I'm not a famous actor. Is this possible? And actually, by showing each other that we're all going through a similar thing, it makes it very clear that it's not women that are doing this to themselves. It's not things we're imagining. It's stuff that's been happening epidemically in our society, and that we can all join together and go, oh my goodness, I wasn't going mad. This is actually happening. Now, I think that one of the things that does come out of this that's really important, and actually that the Me Too hashtag shows, which I really loved, which is that we shouldn't have to open a vein to be taken seriously. We should be able to say this happened to me, and I want to pursue redress and justice about that without having to literally bare our souls. But also it shows that lots of men have stood up for women on Twitter as well, and part of the hashtag, and said we should be running our own hashtag saying I can change, I can do better than this. We know that men can. We know they're not born inherently with a gene in them that makes them do abusive things. Feminists are men's best friends in that way, because we don't believe in the gender. We know that all the evidence shows there's no such thing as a male or female brain. So it's only our socialisation that makes this stuff permissible. So it's brilliant that women are showing, that men and women are looking at Twitter, looking at each other and saying we can do better than this. And it's down to men to recognise that they can change this behaviour, and women standing together in sisterhood and showing them that behaviour is allowing that change to happen. I think it's fantastic.
Interesting to know what you thought about that, Angela, with the male and female brain, because I did read an article that you wrote quite recently about we tried to talk to you at the time. I know you were busy, otherwise you would have come on and talked to us about it, when you were talking about female pilots and saying that you felt more nervous when you were flying if a woman was flying the aeroplane?
Yes.
Talk to me
that's
more
right.
about that.
I mean, that's an entirely separate conversation, which I'm happy to have.
It's a conversation that we can have today as well. Surely.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, no, I'm going to. I'm leading into it now. If you'll let me finish. So what I was going to say is, first of all, Rebecca, with the greatest of respect, has a bundle of contradictions there, because on the one hand, Me Too, it's all about feminine solidarity, and then the other hand, it's like bring men into it as well, which comes back to my original point. It's a societal issue. It's not about clumping women together and clumping men together. We have to address it collectively. So therefore, that's why I think there's a kind of nonsense in the sisterly solidarity. In terms of the female pilot discussion, I wrote an article for the Daily Mail explaining that it was an entirely anecdotal, idiosyncratic personal response, which was that being a woman, I felt better in the rescued rather than rescuer mode, and therefore when a woman pilots my plane, of course she is 150% competent to do that. She's probably more competent than men, because she's used to multitasking and juggling a million different things. She will have trained to the exacting high standards. I said it was a confusing but instinctive response that sort of made me feel that when it came to being in, as I say, the rescued and rescuer situation, I preferred that rescuer situation, if you like, the pilot of the plane, the person that's in charge of 300 people at 35,000 feet in the air, to be a man rather than a woman. And that was my instinctive response. And I've said this before about the feminist debate. Biology doesn't make us unequal, it simply makes us different. Men and women are not the same. The female and male brains are not the same. Women are far more chemical, we can be far more empathetic. There are lots of reasons why women come together and understand each other. You know, get a group of women to talk about their children. It's an entirely different discussion than the way men might talk about their children. We love unconditionally. Of course there are things that bind us together.
Yeah, you can.
But equally,
yeah,
there are
you
things
can.
that
Angela,
make us
stand by.
separate.
Angela, stand by. Go on. Yes, you can.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that in sense of the, just to respond to the thing about the brains, we have biological differences, of course, but our brains, over and over again, neuroscience, albeit a very new science, is proving there's no chemical difference in the brains. It's socialisation that makes us more adept at different things, because brains are very, very responsive. They're like sponges, and we pick up very quickly what we're expected to do in our society, and the messages for boys and girls are quite different. However, what I would say is, we're not, when we talk about feminism, we talk about things like the Me Too hashtag, we're not clumping women together. We're making a very important recognition that by and large sexual harassment happens to women by men, and sometimes it happens also to men, but still by men. And therefore, when I say I'm pleased that men are stepping up to the plate to change, it's because in recognition that women don't do this stuff to ourselves. We have to acknowledge that men need to change their behaviour. There's no point constantly looking for how to blame the victim, how to say she should have stepped up sooner, she shouldn't step up because no one else will hire her, she should have worn this, she shouldn't have drunk that. We've got to say it's down to men to not do these things and to take responsibility for their own behaviour, and to have proper respect for women as full human beings.
Yeah. Angela, I just want to go back to what you were saying about planes again.
I agree with that.
And if I may just ask you the question, Angela, I mean, what you actually said as part of the article was that at certain times of the month, women were potentially not as good at flying aeroplanes as men. Is that what you said?
I hope that's not what you said.
No, I didn't say that.
What did you say?
I said my perception was that being a woman myself, I know that there are different things that affect the way that I am. I mean, there was some research out a while ago that said women wanted they wanted menstrual leave because they recognised at certain times of the month they were less efficient at doing their jobs. They might have been suffering with everything from period pain to mood swings. You know, we have this thing visited upon us that has a physical response to. So I was saying, and I was appropriating a female response by saying, irrational as it sounds, and I held up my hands, and I understand not everybody will buy into this, it was a personal debate piece, I was saying that because I know what it is to be a woman, and that is to feel certain things at certain times of the month, to maybe be quite emotional in certain situations, that I wondered and worried, would the female pilot be having the same sorts of experiences? Now, of course, she's a competent professional. She probably doesn't, but that doesn't prevent me, as a woman, being able to appropriate those feelings towards her. I mean, I had some ridiculous responses on social media. I mean, you know, everybody's an armchair militant and a cyber warrior when it comes to these sorts of things. And people said, well, would you say that about a black pilot? You wouldn't like to be flown by a black pilot? Well, of course not. I've no idea what it is to be a black person and the discrimination that may go with that and the difficulties and social engineering that may go with the challenges of being from a particular ethnic minority. But I do understand what it is to be a woman. And therefore, what I was saying is, as a woman, I'm not very good at being a rescuer, as I keep saying. I'm very good at being the rescued in certain situations. And therefore, I was appropriating physical, biological and emotional responses to the pilot's role.
OK, trust me, it gets a lot easier after the menopause. Rebecca, final thought from you?
I just think it's really exciting to hear someone like Angela recognise that certainly all of us have got internalised misogyny based on living in a sexist culture, and to take ownership of some of that, and we all have those thoughts and feelings. One of the great things about the things like the Me Too hashtag is that we can exchange these views, we can look at what it means to be a woman, and we can look at our collective experience, and then we can make moves to change it. I think that is so powerful and so positive. I'm really excited about it.
Fascinating debate, ladies. Sadly, we've run out of time. Come back and talk to us both again soon. Love it. Thanks a lot. Other news. Human Rights Watch says almost 300 Rohingya villages in Myanmar have been partially or totally destroyed since the last week of August. Checking out these satellite images released today by the group, they show thousands of homes burned to the ground. For more on this, we're joined from Bangkok by the Deputy Director of Human Rights Watch Asia Division, Phil Robertson. Hello to you, Phil. Thanks for joining us. Talk to us about what we're seeing in those pictures.
Well, those photos show a number of things. I mean,
I'm indebted to your entire family.
Now I can come back and say my 2 pence worth again over this. I read 5G might have been involved with the fires in California. Trees burning inside out microwave technology, says Brian Radcliffe. Thanks a lot for that, Brian. And yes, I completely buy into that. Again, I raised the point about the Canada fires a couple of years ago. They were over on the main channel when things got really good on that channel as well. And I want to go and find someone about that again, just to say hello. It was Nova. She was a nice lady. She used to comment quite a lot on the channel, and just to drag up that sort of them opinions what I made at the time about the Canada ones, about how the trees just went up in flames. So just a quick note there, Brian's just got his little comments into this particular one. So thanks a lot for that, Brian. But yeah, again, just in line with what else we've been saying throughout the rest of the day, I haven't really hit on the 5G. Do you know what's weird about that? Because I don't know whether you notice, I don't really like covering things what other people are covering, and I'm not like that. As it's weird, I don't know. But anyway, Annie Logical's covering that now. She started a new website. She started Facebook pages. Hundreds and hundreds of people are going to be sort of seeing all of that work now. And she's going to be doing well with this, so that's why, I don't know, yeah, I need to start tapping into it, but I don't. A few weeks ago I was filming and photographing all of the little 5G towers what are popping up when I look out of the window. And with me being high up, I see a lot of them, and I can see now 1, 2, 3, and I seen another one over in the far left this morning, today. So there's about between 3 and 5 immediate ones where I can see what are just standing towers. Now, that's without looking on top of the buildings. There's more on top of them as well. What I want to do here again, just for a minute, is just analyse this. I've made the point. Kay Burley's dressed in orange again. Something's going to happen this week. My guess, there's no to read the signs that they put out. So, let's just have a little look, because I want to look at her eye, don't I? Remember before I shot out on her eye was all flickering around in the head, so I'll put it into 1080p just to get better visuals and see what's going on.
For the rest of my life. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Will. Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich and Lewisham. Our Crown correspondent Martin Brunt has the latest for us. What are police saying about this, Martin?
They believe that this is this series of attacks is done by one man, and they are desperate to catch him. They've issued a description of him. It's not a very detailed description. A white man aged between 40 to 50 years old with short white or blonde hair. But they have put out some pictures of a recent suspect. These images show a man on Monday night. He's running down the street, a street called Honor Oak Road in SE Southeast 23. They believe this is the last or the latest in a series of 9 assaults, and they're asking people to get in touch. There are 7 children who've been the subject of this, what they think is a series of assaults, aged between 11 and 13. Also 2 other victims, women in their 20s. But police believe there may be more victims.
With families who had lost people in combat zones. And that's just simply not the case. And Donald Trump, I believe, did say this.
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached.
I don't think I'll get it there now like that, just in that. Yeah, just let me put it to theatre mode. Get the screen a bit bigger, can't I? Yeah, come on, I'm gonna get this here. Ah, no. Right, no.
Approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich and Lewisham. Our Crown correspondent Martin Brunt has the latest for us. What are police saying about this, Martin? Approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich and Lewisham.
What the fuck's wrong with your eyeball? You have just been nicked, you weirdo.
What are police saying about this, Martin? Approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich and Lewisham.
Nicked ya?
Our Crown correspondent Martin Brunt has the latest.
Nicked ya? What's going on there? That's weird. Should we go in again for a second and third opinion, different speeds, what have you? Why not? Let's go from here. That was 0.75 speed, so I'm going to go take it down now. Ah, crap, I can't see. I need to... Yeah, there we go. Setting speed. Oh, gee. Oh, no, my sandwiches. Come on. Setting speed. Right, we are there. 0. Go to this one for now, because 0.25 is always a bit too stupid. Right, keep it there.
Tweeting about Rocket Man.
Tweeting about Rocket Man.
Ivanka Trump was wearing a flak jacket and stationed at the DMZ on the Korean Peninsula. I don't think Donald Trump would be taunting Iran if Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. were in a line company in the United States Marine Corps. But they're not. And Donald Trump, someone who actively worked to avoid service when it was his time to serve,
I'll
now
upload that
does
video where I
everything
bought
he
in
can
the moment, like,
to
whatever the fuck it was doing.
put more Americans into harm's way.
I never want to see you ever
going
again in my
out
life,
and
mate.
starting wars. I mean, look, Donald Trump, yes, he is anti-veteran, he is anti-military family, and he is a chicken hawk to boot.
Okay, final thought. Shall we return to offering a dignified condolence to Sergeant LaDebbie John's family?
Yes, look, this is, thank you so much for the sacrifice that your son made. I'm so sorry that you're having to go through this process, and I'm sorry that you're having to do so in a public way. And as a veteran, I'm indebted to
You're not a veteran,
your
you've never
entire
been in the
family.
army cleaning your fingernails all day. Full of shit, mate.
For the rest of my life.
Imagine him in the army, getting bummed every day.
Thank you for joining us, Will.
Well, that was pathetic if ever I've seen it. Now, take this to this speed, get a little dodgy eyeball here. Okay. Right, you little weirdo. Oh, no. Let's go back. That's the best I can do. Unbelievable, Jeff. Oh, shit. You can hide your weird eye. There's no way to hide those weird eyes. There ain't no way to hide those weird eyes. You can hide your weird eyes.
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich
Keep it still, it's
and
going
Lewisham.
spinning round in the head.
Our crime correspondent Martin Brunt has the latest for us. What are police saying about this, Martin?
They believe that this is this series of attacks is done by one man, and they are desperate to catch him. They've issued a description of him. It's not a very detailed description.
It wouldn't be, would it?
A white man aged between 40 to 50 years
I know it was.
old,
It was the same police officer that we sent out to go and shove someone into the road. Remember when the woman got pushed into the road? And I was saying, who's that? That's nuts. That was still probably one of the police have just done that.
These images show a man.
Show not, and I'm sorry because the screen's only recording a certain section. I'm going to stop that bit there now. Stop that. And just come and look at her eye again. You can't hide your gammy eye. You can't hide your weird
on Monday.
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and
you explained that one. You explained that one later, you little witch. I knew you was a little witch. What the fuck on earth is happening to your eyeballs there live on TV?
Martin Brunt has the latest for us. What are police saying about this, Martin?
What the fuck? Look.
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich.
Keep it still, lad. It's
and
going
Lewisham.
spinning round in the head. Both of them are doing it, you know.
Correspondent Martin Brunt has
Well,
the
that's
latest
fucking weird.
for
And look at
us.
this.
What are police
Is
saying
that doing
about
it?
this, Martin?
You're weird,
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected.
Why are your eyes transforming in your head?
As young as 11.
Fucking going
7
wild.
victims have described being approached and
In your
touched
head,
sexually by
spinning
a
around,
man in the
round.
southeast London borough.
No matter what speed we put it in,
Still
no matter what resolution we put it in, we're picking up the same thing, okay?
Our crime correspondent Martin Brunt has.
I can't wait to tweet her now. Hey, Kate Burley, you fucking weird eyes. Where is she? Twitter. Right. Where's Kate Burley? Let's find her. Right. Okay. Burley. She's gonna think she's great. She might have a little space in her or something, who knows. At the moment, we don't care. There she is, the little witch. Uh-oh, hey. Hey, Kate Burley, you auditioning for a part on Scooby-Doo? She has these clothes on every day. Right, Kate Burley? Kate Burley, I've just... Let me tweet her. Tweet her, Kate. Kate Burley. I have just screen recorded your eyeballs spinning around in your head live on SLY News. Yeah, live in your head, in your head, in your head. Die on me, die on me. I have just screen recorded your eyeballs spinning around in your head live on Sky News. Can you explain this, please? Can you explain why this is happening, please? Can you explain? Are you a reptile? Are you a reptile? Are you a reptile? Weird. Odd. Hashtag odd. Kate Burley tweeted live on Enchanted. Oh, fuck's sake. It's still gonna be there. I knew. Okay. Right. Take screenshots. No, I'll upload my video to it later. Show you and your weird eyes and your little orange Illuminati orange dress that you've got on. Again, it was buffering a bit when her eyeball was doing that. That'd be a big answer, like. Let's go and watch it again, see if that's what you're saying. And hello, Vicky. My mic is working, isn't it? Yeah. So let's go and watch her, because I've watched it back about 3 or 4 times now, haven't I? And it's always doing the same thing. I've put it in the different resolutions, and I wouldn't say it was buffering on a particular eye, because watch, like I said, no matter what speed we drop it down to, or how long I sort of do this for. Where are we? She's talking about this monster here, isn't she? Right, let's look. Suspect.
Saying about this, Martin.
Right. Come on. We're gonna listen to this boring bastard again. Put him into normal.
While they're working overseas.
Well, I think one point of note is Donald Trump spent a lot of time during the campaign using veterans and military families as props, and he continues to do.
Right, if I just do this now and go, oh, hey, custom area, get a wider shot there like that, because I know she comes into that basically, oh, I think she's still going to fit into that, and so do the fella's eyes, and I'll play the three of them right through now, and we will see. But I've got it in 1080, yeah. It's sort of nowhere like I've had to pause for that long or playing for that long. Enough of it's sort of rendered in the background, processed to stream. I'm not seeing no buffering, but let me look for buffering now. And I still haven't even confirmed that that's what you were talking about. You might have just been saying my stream's buffering. So I'm just having a little look at that, at other possibilities, okay? Well, keep your eye on the detail in their eye. The male's eyes, keep your eye in the detail in their eye, and then watch your eyes fall apart. 3, 2, 1.
Do so as president. Donald Trump is categorically anti-veteran. He wants to destroy and privatize the veteran healthcare service, veterans healthcare that we have here in this country. He goes on Twitter and on TV and speaks in a remarkably capricious way about nuclear weapons and taunting world leaders, putting our active military forces in danger, of course, none of whom are his children. I don't think Donald Trump would be tweeting about Rocket Man if Ivanka Trump was wearing a flak jacket and stationed at the DMZ on the Korean Peninsula. I don't think Donald Trump would be taunting Iran if Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. were in a line company in the United States Marine Corps. But they're not. And Donald Trump, someone who actively worked to avoid service when it was his time to serve, now does everything he can to put more Americans into harm's way by going out and starting wars. I mean, look, Donald Trump, yes, he is anti-veteran, he is anti-military family, and he is a chicken hawk to boot.
Okay, final thoughts. Shall we return to offering a dignified condolence to Sergeant David John's family?
Yes, look, this is, thank you
always
so much,
where he steps into the president's shoes.
The sacrifice that your son made. I'm so sorry that you're having to go through this process, and I'm sorry to try to do so in a public way. And as a veteran, I am indebted to your entire family for
so look at his eyes, no flickering in them.
Thank you for joining us, well.
Now look at her eyes now, watch what happens.
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a man
spinning round in the head, a right eye particularly, and a left eye does it a few times as well.
Has the latest for us. What are police saying about this, Martin?
And then we're back into his eyes.
I believe that this is this series of attacks is done by one man, and they are
even when he's flicking his eyes, I'm not seeing his eyeball go move down or disappear, his pupil.
40 to 50
not
years
seeing
old,
none of that
with
in him,
short white
which you see.
or blonde hair. But they have put out some pictures of a recent suspect. These images show a man on Monday night. He's running down the street, a street called Honor Oak Road in SE Southeast 23. They believe this is the last or the latest in a series of 9 assaults.
These are the police who do this, you know, when the assaults are fake, but they go out and
there
stage
are 7
it.
children who've been the subject of this, what they think is a series of assaults, aged between 11 and 13.
I thought that police, the man who pushed the woman into the road was a bit dodgy. They look like a busy.
I believe there may be more victims of this attacker, and they want them to contact them for 2 reasons, really. They want to hear more of what they've been through, perhaps offering a bit more detail of a description of their attacker.
Always look in people's glasses in the reflections as well. And sometimes maybe even the eyeballs, you can still see reflections in them. You can tell whether someone is actually in Washington DC or whether they're just looking at a green, behind a green screen, looking at it. No, just in a studio, you can see it.
And traumatic. Anybody who knows anything should call the police.
Okay,
on you.
Families of those who died in the Grenfell fires say they're being insulted by the UK's compensation laws, which could see them receive paltry payouts for their loved ones. Police believe more than 80 people may have died in the fire so far.
I can pause that there now again, because that app stops me from touching everything. My feed, you were talking about them, weren't you, Vicky? Cool. Yeah, so you were talking about my feeds. What do you think about AI? Have you seen it? Let's have a... Oh, where's that? There we go. So these 3 videos here.
Do so as president. Donald Trump is categorically anti-veteran. He wants to destroy and privatize the veteran healthcare service, veterans healthcare that we have here in this country. He goes on Twitter and on TV and speaks in a remarkably capricious way about nuclear weapons and taunting world leaders, putting our active military forces in danger, of course none of whom are his children. I don't think Donald Trump would be tweeting about Rocket Man if Ivanka Trump was wearing a flak jacket and stationed at the DMZ on the Korean Peninsula. I don't think Donald Trump would be taunting Iran if Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. were in a line company in the United States Marine Corps. But they're not. And Donald Trump, someone who actively worked to avoid service when it was his time to serve, now does everything he can to put more Americans into harm's way.
I made up. I called that on Kay Bailey and got the tweet out. She doesn't know how much I hate that.
He is anti-military family, and he is a chicken hawk to boot.
Okay, final thought. Shall we return to offering a dignified condolence to Sergeant David John's family?
Yes, look, this is thank you.
Always
so
where he steps into the president's shoes.
The sacrifice that your son made. I'm so sorry that you're having to go through this process, and I'm
Coffin was empty.
Do so in a public way. And as a veteran, I am indebted to your entire family for.
So look at his eyes, no flickering in them. Now look at her eyes now. Watch what happens.
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a
spinning round in the head, a right eye particularly, and a left eye does it a few times as well.
Has the latest for us. What are police saying about this, Martin?
And then we're back into his eyes.
Believe that this is this series of attacks is done by one man, and they are
even when he's flicking his eyes, I'm not seeing his eyeball go move down or disappear. His pupil, not seeing none of that in him, which you see.
Blonde hair, but they have put
Kay Bailey's suspect. Obviously, different lightings and different rooms maybe may contribute to this, so we'll look into things like that as well.
These images show a man on Monday night. He's running down the street.
It's funny the way you just don't see nothing.
A street called Honor Oak Road in SE Southeast 23.
With a torch.
They believe this is the last or the latest in a series of 9 assaults.
These are the police who do this, you know, when the assaults are fake, but they go out and stage it.
There are 7 children who've been the subject of this, what they think is a series of assaults. Aged
I thought that police, the man who pushed the woman into the road was a bit dodgy. It looked like a busy.
They believe there may be more victims of this attacker, and they want them to contact them for 2 reasons really. They want to hear more of what they've been through, perhaps offering a bit more detail of a description of their attacker.
Always look in people's glasses and the reflections as well, and sometimes maybe even the eyeballs, you can still see reflections in them. You can tell whether someone is actually in Washington DC or whether they're just looking at a green screen, behind a green screen, looking at it, no, just in a studio. You can see it.
And traumatic. Anybody who knows anything should call the police.
On you.
Families of those who died in the Grenfell fires say they're being insulted by the UK's compensation laws, which could see them receive paltry payouts for their loved ones. Please.
Her voice pisses me off. Yeah, you can. I'll put the other ones on. Not sure when you come in with it. Put the other ones on. We need second opinions on it. Like, I'm not just shoving it in people's faces. I want to know.
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls.
You're weird, Ash.
Police are hunting a potential...
Let me upload this for you and you'll be able to see it better then. So if I come here, shut this, if I had any emails, no, from the Independent Press Standards Organisation. Waiting for that, my reply from them. Have I had, wait, and our good friend, hey, someone else's. Oh yeah, this is a point I'm going to make now. I'm going to make it now. Right, look at this. This person. Lucy Janet Edwards, I got a friend request before. Straight away, I was pissed off because you can see again it's from Indiana. Brand new account, no friends, one friend in common straight away. Now what happens is I get about 15 of these requests every few days. I'll get like about over three, I guess about 3 or 4 over about a couple of days or something. So by the end of the week, I always end up with about 15 of these little strange requests from fake accounts all the time. I just ignored them. So I said, why are you this fake, sending me requests as if I'm the first person on earth you think of? Go the fuck away. So then I put from Indiana, and I put 15 times a day. What is this? Cell, who is creating these fake accounts, and then she's just put, I am from USA, Indiana, and I put, but are you real? Why do I get 12 requests from new accounts daily? Yes, I'm real. Where are you from? I'm obviously giving the program shit. Who are you? Who are you? All this is concerning, right? So then, who do you work for? And why is your account so new? How did you come to request me in Liverpool, UK? Is this work related? So then I looked on the profile. Mr. Terry Hicks has written on the poster, cute. And Cedric MCK has written on it as well, hot. So I copy pasted and said, are you one of these men, really? I'll get your IP address up in no time. And then by the time I put sick of sending friend requests, sick of fake requests, people trying to sit in people's friends list, God knows through and what. So when I tried to press send, it was no longer letting me. So the person had instantly then blocked me then. So when I clicked on the profile, this is what happened, what I come to straight away. But that was within minutes. So I just thought I'd raise that point and see if anyone else ever gets any of that happening, basically. And let's go over it and get on to this and just upload this video. Right. Shut that door. Haha, look at Eric's stupid face on me channel there. Where are they? Are they on desktop? No. Shit. I hope this is them. 1835. Yeah, that's us. And then we have this one, 1825. And then we got this one, 1818. Let's go for the middle one first. That seemed the funniest. What the fuck is wrong with Kay Bailey's eyeballs? What the? Weirdo. Haha. Yeah, crazy. So you can see that probably better now. Vicky, if you pop into the channel and have a look at that, you probably see that better now. So now we need to do dun 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 dun. This one. No, it's not. It ain't. Processing done. That was fast. Gee, that was quick. Look at it there. Is it normal there? Yeah. Right. Posing a question, maybe nothing. But I think I see insane eyeball movements. Unexplained. Dun 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 dun. So I can't remember what one I've done. It was that one. So now we've only got this one. Now we've only got. Why didn't that take this one? Fuck's sake. Hurry up. This extra mission planet is surely just more elite horseshit. They will pretend all the earthquakes and madness is all a distant plant and race interfering, which will be united against. I'll get into that one shortly. But Woody's been commenting on a few videos today, so thanks a lot for that, mate. I appreciate it. And we have no examples of K. Burley's eyeballs. What a bastard. I have to go and get one now. Or just a picture of her, the little witch. Hey, witch. Look at her, butter wouldn't melt. Me, sweet me, I just have. Look at her, the little spaz. Hey Burley, are you auditioning for a part on Scooby-Doo? Custom area. Oh no, where's this funny comment gone? Oh well, that picture's a bit crap then. If I've only got it, if that's all I'm gonna get, I might as well get this one. Out of my head. Ah. Wait. Okay then. Let's see. She said, I can see her eyes are all over the place. Says Ricky Lee in the house. You have to do that, move the screen over. If you ever see me doing all that all the time, sometimes I wonder why I'm messing about. Because like there's like my television just decided to come down here, big straight line, a black bar. So I can't see like a little inch into me. But anyway, yeah, we'll go and analyse this a little bit more now. Analyse this. Oh, I should have done screen recordings in 1080p, shouldn't I? Oh, I wonder what they're in.
Do so as president. Donald Trump is categorically anti-veteran. He wants to destroy and
240?
privatize the veteran healthcare service.
Oh, no. No. Why are you knocking out screen recordings in 240? Hi. It doesn't want to save the MP4s automatically. I can't believe this. Watermark opacity. Adding a watermark is not available in the free bit. I don't need one. I'm gonna hardly use this. You only use it when you see me use it. No, that weren't good enough, that. Uploading in 240, what's it playing at? Video quality high, save to audio. Was that set because of me screen size, maybe? Because you didn't know, like, the way I made it that big, the screen? Is that what dictated that? The pixels? Let's have a look.
Veterans healthcare that we have here in this country. He goes on Twitter and on TV and speaks in a remarkably capricious way about nuclear weapons and taunting world leaders, putting our active military forces in danger. Of course, none of whom are his children. I don't think Donald Trump would be tweeting about Rocket Man if Ivanka Trump was wearing a flak jacket and stationed at the DMZ on the Korean Peninsula. I don't think Donald Trump would be taunting Iran if Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. were in a line company in the United States Marine Corps. But they're not. And Donald Trump, someone who actively worked to avoid service when it was his time to serve, now does everything he can to put more Americans into harm's way by going out and starting wars. I mean, look, Donald Trump, yes, he is anti-veteran, he is anti-military family, and he is a chicken hawk to boot.
Okay, final thoughts.
I disagree with that, because all he based, look at this, 322, I didn't mean that, sorry. About 90% of Donald Trump's campaign, he was going out to the veterans and the army and all that. So we got all pally with, so he was talking a bit of shit there.
Should we return to offering a dignified...
you got a bit of shit in your mouth, man.
Condolence to with David John's family.
Yes, look, this is... thank you.
Always
so
where
much,
he steps into the president's shoes.
The sacrifice that your son made. I'm so sorry that you're having to go through this process, and I'm
Coffin was empty.
Do so in a public way. And as a veteran, I am indebted to your entire family for.
So look at his eyes, no flickering in them.
Thank you for joining us.
Now look at her eyes now. Watch what happens.
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a
spinning round in the head, a right eye particularly, and a left eye does it a few times as well.
Has the latest for us. What are police saying about this, Martin?
And then we're back into his eyes.
I believe that this is this series of attacks is done by one man, and they are
even when he's flicking his eyes. I'm not seeing his eye. It was recht. The footage was recht. I can smell this shit from here. That footage was too terrible. And it's probably is the reason why it has just gone out in 240 with the screen size. Unbelievable. Have I uploaded something? It should be. Crap footage that director, hasn't it? Right, I just want to donor up. Ah. I wonder if it's gone in here like everything else. Nothing. Since downloads, is it then? I keep changing my little save destinations when I'm making videos and stuff, so I didn't know where that had gone then. Hurry up. Normally take all day doing this. I got a shout to the stage. Come on. There you go. I don't know why this wasn't on this channel. There you go. Start back in here. That's that video, that's the one that I wanted to upload. I downloaded it off my Vivo channel before, because for some reason it weren't in this channel, I don't think. So I downloaded it off my Vivo channel and just uploaded it, because it's been a little file length than my original upload, like about 2 gigabytes, 3 gigabytes. It's quite a long video, 43 minutes, so I downloaded it from Vivo and just uploaded it. Then that should be done. It'll be done pretty soon, like. Still on none then, but the next thing will come up on like 28% or something. Look what we're looking like here now. We want now. Just refresh it to get now. I still need to get a footage of her eyes done like properly. Right, I know how to do it. Let's come in here, start recording this, do this,
for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Thank you for joining as well. Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich and Lewisham. Our crime correspondent Martin Brunt has the latest for us. What are police saying about this, Martin?
They believe that this series of attacks is done by one man, and they are desperate to catch him. They've issued a description of him. It's not a very detailed description. A white man aged between 40 to 50 years old with short white or blonde hair. But they have put out some pictures of a recent suspect.
Shoot a little patch.
Is not saying it. I did not say what she said, and I'd like her to make the statement again, because I did not say what she said. I had a very nice conversation with the woman, with the wife, who sounded like a lovely woman, did not say what the Congresswoman said, and most people aren't too surprised to hear that.
Well, let's bring in Will Fisher from the US Veterans Campaign Group Vote Vets. Hello to you, Will. Thank you for bearing with us. Sorry about technical issues a little bit earlier on. It's all very distasteful, this, isn't it? A soldier has died, his wife is grieving, and the family has got caught up in politics.
Absolutely. But, you know, sort of the overarching...
To stave off a Tory rebellion on welfare payments as she scrapped the controversial premium rate universal credit helpline. Labour want to see the rollout of the new benefits scheme paused entirely, something Theresa May ruled out in today's Prime Minister's Questions.
I asked the Prime Minister to scrap the unfair charges on the universal credit helpline. Yeah. Today she's finally bowed to that pressure. But the fundamental problems of universal credit remain.
Yeah. £1 billion a year in lost earning and revenue. That's £1 million an hour. Now the government is demanding improvements from the Highways Agency to alleviate the almost 4,000 jams a day. They want reductions in the time it takes to reopen motorways following accidents. Joining us now is the RAC's Nick Lyth. Hello to you, Nick. Thanks for joining us. It's a nightmare when you...
Right, that'll do. We just stop that recording there. Turns into the big operation this now. We might as well have a look while you're here. Let's come back over into this one, check. Probably just light, a different change of light, and like the other people in different studios. That's just going to be the logical explanation, isn't it? Just have a look for fun. Yeah. Should have made this about 4K. Recording this. Do this. And
for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Will. Police are hunting a potential...
yeah.
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich and Lewisham. Our crime correspondent Martin Brunt.
Right, so get this back here like this now. I should get in a better resolution now. Even though that screen there is not because the right. Fucking zoom that in on people, don't we, these days? It's funny. I don't know whether that's going too far. Keep it like that. No, do you know what why I've just made a mistake then? Right, I should have just copied this file here first. That section, sorry. Let's do it to this one then. I don't know what that was. Crazy, my head is spinning. Oh. Right. I think that might do us for this
Police are
one.
hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich and Lewisham. Her
eyeball keeps coming in and out and that though, you know, still. Now in this next one here, I'll do it again. We'll close it in. Oh shit. Oh no. See, I don't know whether I'm doing it. See the way she's all pixelating and everything. I don't know whether I'm going too far in. Is she just fake? Look at her hair, look what happens when you zoom in. She's a hologram. What the fuck, Kate? Square head. Square hair. She's got square hair. Just see if I can go in closer anyway, because we're going to render it. Let's just see what this plays through like.
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich and Lewisham. Our grand...
Okay then. Let's do another one. I'm going to jump in the chat there and just see a few messages just coming down, and then so I shall come say hello now. How the fuck are we? Here. Oh, stop it. Wonder what other little games I can play with that anyway, instead of just doing that. What? You only got one of them, she turned square? What the fuck, kid? Okay, sorry. Should we get a neck? Just so she cries when she sees it, because she said she's had a menopause before or something. So when she sees people zooming in on her neck this much, she won't like it. Why does he hate me? Why would anybody want to do this to me? Right, I'm going to zoom it now. Do that, but take it down. I know this is just weird now, but so it's funny as well. There you go, you little witch. Now we look at your horrible neck.
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich and Lewisham. Our grand...
Bit boring that, wasn't it? Let's see what you're saying here in chat. Lucky you know what you're doing on the computer, I wouldn't have a clue. I know. Let's see who else is commenting. She's a high-ranking Easter Star Freemason. I think they become spiritual bound because of the oaths. How man-controlled would you have to be to read that shit out? Very. They sell their souls. Andy Hill. Well said. Well said. She's a high-ranking Easter Star Freemason. She is. I always spot her being a little witch. And she's wearing a little 33s. Like today, sport on orange. What was you laughing at then? Zooming in there, horrible neck. Dun 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 dun. Come on, back here. I was just wondering if we can make her look stupid any other ways, or if we can investigate her neck. I mean, eyes. She looks like a pig now. That's too funny. Look at a square head with a piggy nose.
Police are hunting a potential serial child sex offender suspected of targeting girls as young as 11. 7 victims have described being approached and touched sexually by a man in the southeast London boroughs of Greenwich and Lewisham. Our crime correspondent Martin Brunt has the latest for us. What are police saying about this, Martin?
They believe that this is this series of attacks is done by one man, and they are desperate to catch him. They've issued a description of him. It's not a very detailed description. A white man aged between 40 to 50 years old with short white or blonde hair. But they have put out some pictures of a recent suspect.
Shoot a little patch.
Is not saying it. I did not say what she said, and I'd like her to make the statement again, because I did not say what she said. I had a very nice conversation with the woman, with the wife, who sounded like a lovely woman, did not say what the Congresswoman said, and most people aren't too surprised to hear that.
Well, let's bring in Will Fisher from the US Veterans Campaign Group Vote Vets. Hello to you, Will. Thank you for bearing with us. Sorry about technical issues a little bit earlier on. It's all very distasteful, this, isn't it? A soldier has died, his wife is grieving, and the family has got caught up in politics.
Absolutely. But, you know, sort of the overarching...
To stave off a Tory rebellion on welfare payment.
There she is again.
To stave off a Tory rebellion on welfare payment.
Look at him, mad eyes there, psychotic eyes, damn. Spinning eyes in the head. Probably hypnotising everyone or something.
Stave off a Tory rebellion on welfare payments as she scrapped the controversial premium rate universal credit helpline. Labour want to see the rollout of the new benefits scheme paused entirely, something Theresa May ruled out in today's Prime Minister's questions.
Did she now? Who gives a fuck? Alright, so the next one is this. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see what you're saying here. With the green shoes. Is that what she's got on? Well, she always wears the green dress. Like she always wears, she's only got fucking two dresses in her whole wardrobe. The black one, the green one, and the orange one. And yet they all do mean something. Every time she hosts the news for the few days something happens, she's a little witch, she's bad omen. Definitely a little bad omen. We're going to look into it a little bit more now as well. Off with his head. If she's a Freemason, that's what she'll be saying about me later when she sees the tweet. And then these videos which are posted up with the eyeballs spinning around in her head. Okay, so that'll do it there.
Stave off a Tory rebellion on welfare payments as she scrapped the controversial premium rate universal credit helpline.
This is going to render in 1080p in a minute when I finish this, you know. And we will have a serious answer then.
Rollout of the new benefits scheme paused entirely.
I can see them spinning around in their head here.
Something Theresa May ruled out in today's Prime Minister's questions.
Let's do this again here. And get that there. And sort this. And I didn't know I could move that down before when I was getting stuck. Learn something new every day. See what we get out of this, you witch. I think I've gone in too much. Yeah, I'll leave it. See it in the next one. Right. I hope this is all doing properly. This part here I want to look at. No, see, I know. Well, you know, we've got something for you. Just start it again. That'll do, that's that fixed. And now, I haven't done this one yet, have I?
So she scrapped the controversial premium rate universal.
Okay. Oh shit. That's when it lets me move it, when I need to. Oh, piggy nose. Leave her like that with a pixelated head that you can see all around her again. She's not even real.
ADVERTISEMENTS rebellion on welfare payments as she scrapped the controversial premium rate universal credit helpline.
Your right eye is insane.
Labour want to see the rollout of the new benefits scheme.
Your right eye is like the sun. Your left eye is like the sun. Your right eye is like the moon. Just going about 100 million miles an hour, chasing it, orbiting each other.
Paused entirely, something Theresa May ruled out in today's Prime Minister's questions.
I asked the Prime Minister to scrap the unfair charges on the Universal Credit Helpline. Yeah. Today, she's finally bowed to that pressure. Yeah. But the fundamental problems of universal credit remain. Yeah.
£1 billion a year in loss.
Right. There you are. She looks like she's on Enchanted LifePath TV. K Burley, ELP TV News. Get off my channel.
£1 a year in lost earning and revenue. That's £1 million an hour. Now the government is demanding improvements from the Highways Agency.
Your eyeballs a crazy woman.
£1 a year in lost earning and revenue. That's £1 million an hour. Now
I think that was a good one, you know, this one. If I remember correctly. Look, she's just disappeared. She's a fucking clone. Probably why all her hair's all pixelated to death. Because the green screen, what she's behind. Let's just see what's going on in here. Let's see. They are. My eyes don't do that. You do make me laugh. Cool, cool. That's what we're here for. We didn't want to bore to death out of the news, did we? But them doing that to us long enough. And where am I? Alright, come on.
£1 a year in lost earning and revenue. That's £1 million an hour.
An hour? Lying bitch. You haven't even got £1 million an hour. Just make these figures up to go along. We're all skimp, but we're just sitting here whipping up £1 million an hour. The whole country, recessions, what they go on about, like austerity and everything, but then like the clubs go and spend £1 billion in one day. Or however, just transfer windows. All paedophile money getting laundered back into the system. That's my shout. It's my call anyway. X Factor votes, keep saying it, match of the day, phone votes. All these little stupid votes. What is it, children in need? I've never donated to you. Where did he pull all the money out of the arse from? And then he just make the figures up. We have now raised £42 million for children in need. No, we haven't. Lying. Just all filtered back in. That's how you'd explain where all the money comes back to, the dark web. And all these missing kids. What the list is endless. How else did he put the money back into the pot? A little weirdo. You are live on Enchanted LifePath TV. That one I'll do. Just
£1 million a year in lost earning and revenue. That's £1 million an hour. Now the government is.
I think that might be the one that'll tell us whether it's just like studio lighting and, do you know what I mean? I should really be recording my voice as I'm doing all of this. Just to explain myself within the video. I just show up as okay, nothing. Anyway, I can just delete it and it's gone from the universe. Bye. The world doesn't work like that though, you can't just think like that. You know, you can look like an idiot, can't you? Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna stick there. And do it again. Do it again. Right. There's another one. Come on. She'll be getting all the episode calls about me later on, saying harassing a journalist, getting harassed by a journalist. Only investigating her eyeballs. Not hurting anyone, am I? No K. Burleys were harmed during the making of this video. Should we do another one of them weird close-up ones and let's just see if she keeps her head still?
£1 million a year in lost earning and revenue. That's £1 million an hour. Now the government is.
It looks like you died and come back to life about 150 times a second then. What's going on? Unbelievable. Should we do it again? Oh, no, do it again. Oh, that was too much. I flipped it upside down, I think, no. Ah. Stop it, man. Rocket man. Should we make it go upside down again for this one? Because we don't know what we revealed. You spin me right round, baby, right? Oh, shit. There she goes. I don't even know what one it is. Shit. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. It's just this on the outside, yeah. Look at the head, looks all weird now. They all do on Sky though. The amount of times where I've used my phone to record what they're saying on Sky, haven't I? And then they come out with big oblong alien heads. Well, that was weird.
£1 million a year in lost earning and revenue. That's £1 million an hour. Now the government is demanding improvements from the Highways Agency to alleviate the almost 4,000 jams a day. They want reductions in the time it takes to reopen motorways following accidents. Joining us now is the RAC's Nick Lyth. Hello to you, Nick. Thanks for joining us. It's a nightmare when you...
Right, that'll do. You just... So, in a nutshell, that was just pissing about looking at Kay Burley's weird eyeballs. They might be normal, but I'm doing this live now, right, so that'll do. I've just got to edit it. Speak soon. Shit.
Thanks for joining us.
Just split that from the footage. Let's have a look. Someone just come in to say, Vicky Lee's daughter said hello. Hello, Vicky. I had to say hello, Vicky Lee's daughter then, but it just was a sound of stupid. What's her name? You don't have to say though, you know you don't. Don't say them things in the internet world. But I said hello back, and thanks for watching. Right, let's have a look where we go here. These weird eyeballs, they might be normal, but I'm doing this live now, so I've just got to edit it. Speak soon. Okay then. I can't even be bothered putting me little intro and outros on it. Oh no, I don't want to. I'll just leave it like that, this one. For me to put the intro one on, I have to move everything back a bit and all that shit, and I can't be bothered. So let's do it in 1080p. Can we go higher? Don't need to. Kay Burley's insane eyeball zoomed in. Right, this is going to intros and then again, so you need to change that. Stop that, man. Go to videos again. I hope that doesn't take all week. Just gauge this a sec. It's only what, 3 minutes? It is only 3 minutes, so come on, come on, come on. Yeah, let me, oh no, it's not to do with that. Maybe if I just shut some of the programs, we might get that. We may get that. Just to go faster a bit. Stop the computer working its arse off a minute. Shut this. Screw you guys. Shut that. Can't shut that, and I can't shut that. It's only on 3%. 3%. Oh my god, SLY News. Kay Burley wearing orange. And the one person watching now. So it has been a little bit of a Kay Burley show anyway, at least we carried that theme on a bit more. Ricky says they're full of shit, ain't they? And this is the journalists. Little private school boys. As one of the viewers wrote yesterday, commented, just to think about my face when, see what Singh says here, 18 is 33, October is 33, uh-oh. So today was an attack day, and Kay Burley's in the audience dress. Keep your eyes peeled. Oxfordshire, I think it may have been Woody, you know. I think it may have been Woody who in fact commented. I've made this video private just to stay within the laws, the rules, sorry, of my complaint.
Welcome to Enchanted LifePath TV Liverpool.
Just while there's a complaint ongoing, just kept this one private. Oh, comments are not shown on private videos, bastards. What he said was he said he took his son to a private school opening day, and he was shocked when one of the teachers there said to him, most of our leavers go into journalism or into the banking and all that, so, and he just like thought, oh my god. All my screens are zoomed in too much, aren't they, off zooming in on people and whatever. Let me fix this. And green shoes like the witch she is. The green is the little witch's colour. And the reptiles as well. That's why they like to show you that as well in the green. Showing you the reptilian bloodline. Which is strange that she always wears green, and if it's not green, Parsons green, I think she was wearing black. Grenfell, she was in black. They were all in black for Grenfell. They all got into work in the morning at Grenfell, do you know what I mean? All in black and everything. Well, it was the night before, so I suppose that may have been why. But it's funny the way they all did just show up in black. Especially here, but it was the other channels as well that were doing it, and the correspondents who were then out at the scene, they were all in black. At Grenfell, as I just said, what percentage have we done here? 10%, 45 minutes. Shouldn't have done it in a 1080. It's been done by now in 720. Got it ahead of myself. Do you reckon we scrap that one, Vicky, and upload it in 720, or just wait? Give it 5 and see if the time comes down. Let's look at some things. Shut some of these. Don't need all these open. More turbulence, another British airline is in trouble. That was a stupid search, that. It's like a 5-year-old Google search. Occult meaning of the colour green. Magic Cal. Now when they put the K in there, you know that's black magic, okay, when you spell it with a K. So let's just go in here. And this is a pretty straight to the point. I think we look around for different meanings from different beliefs and what have you. Like look at the Babylon meaning the green, and I've got the green and blue on my website. And I think it was the Lana's Day article, you know. I mentioned the blue and the green in that. Right, so green, money, fertility, abundance, material gain, wealth, healing, communication with nature spirits, anti-inflammatory. Venus rules green, love, making love, affectionate. Red is for lust and sex, fidelity, reconciliation, beauty, youth, friendships, attraction, harmony, financial gain, earnings increases, earnings increases, I'm sorry. Social functions, possessions, riches, indulgence, pleasure, good for beginnings and growth. Venus rules green, abundance, fertility, success, general good luck, harmony, immortality, generosity, material gain, renewal, marriage, balance and healing. Green can also be used for inciting jealousy, greed, suspicion, resentment, sickness, disease and disharmony when applied to others and directed. Green rules the heart chakra. Orange, creativity, enthusiasm, energy, stamina, and is a powerful colour of major changes. Orange helps with adaptability, attraction, sudden changes, stimulation, enthusiasm, creativity, energy. This is just this particular read as well. So gain and control, change in look, insight and justice. The sun rules orange. Orange rules the creative, sexual chakra, second of the elements of fire. Be rude not to, just not to show you these little things, especially if Sync pops in and watches the stream. He's been on fire lately, right? Just show you just little things. Orange, the reason why you say like orange is 33, like if you go back to the very start of the whole stream, that's the reason why we say it, because this numerical value of the word orange is 33, breaks down. O is, what is it? 6915. How come that's the 6 there? It'll be the letters that broke down to that, Dom. Unbelievable, the numbers, I'm so sorry. Whatever two numbers went together, I'd have made 6 or something. Just wondering. As you can't see it, but there you go, there's the orange 33. Okay, Burley 39, 120, 123, 3 9s, 3 6s. I should put some other little searches in there as well. People like Ria, who like to use the Chaldean. Now look, she's number 23, and what have I been saying? I keep seeing the number 23 this week for some reason, me. So there's another one, there's another one. What was the first one? Orange, just to show you again, number 23 again, Chaldean. And I'm seeing number 23s popping up a lot through 11s and 12s combined. So keep your eyes peeled for them at the moment. Burley Witches 66, reduction 78, reverse full one. English Ordinal 18342 in the Chaldean. Again, let me just try and show you something, see if there's any information around anywhere. 42 degrees, rainbow, visual. I'm just putting different keywords in the thing, obviously. Relative to the original. You can only see a rainbow at 42 degrees with your eye. And so I'm going, this should explain it. Abstract, let's have a look, where does it say 42 degrees? I might have said it in this top bit then. Yeah, the purpose of the project is to help students apply their knowledge that they learn from optics class to real life. The theory of rainbows is that I will research and study its information for my project. The project is very important for me because I have a chance to apply and understand more about the law of reflection and diffraction. A rainbow occurs when, right, we don't need that. Although it's something which I would like to read into and cover it all at the same time, but right now I just write the mathematics of the rainbows. Many people say that the rainbow angle is fixed at 42 degrees. How can they know about this? I think that in order to understand about this, we need to study about mathematics of rainbow. The Snell's law and law of reflection law that I learned in the optics class applied to mathematics of rainbows. In order to calculate the rainbow angle, we do not use the Snell's law of reflection, but we use the law of sine, geometry and derivative. In this project, I only mention to the primary rainbow and tell you that how a rainbow angle can be calculated. In order to calculate a rainbow angle, we need to draw some extra lines in the circles that we image as a raindrop. Just at the height, the radius expands the radius dash lines. The angle that we need to find is the angle A. Assume that the raindrop is like a sphere. 360 degrees equals, what do we give you for A? There's all the maths behind it. Equals 42 degrees. Jimmy cheese done that. Equals 42 degrees. So yeah, there you go. Type of rainbow. Nature in rainbow is the rainbow that is created by nature. We can see this type of rainbow at the falling rain, waterfalls with the sunlight shine. I started to like the rainbow one up for once because I often do say it in relation to the number 42, but I never dragged that one up. I've never really went and had a look and showed you the number 42 within there, which is why we're seeing the rainbow, because 42 is a creation of God. It can only be viewed from 42 degrees. The rainbow is the sign of now, the LGBT agendas and all that, so it's just another little way that they mimic one of God's creations. When you see the number 42, that's what that always leads me to. And what else? 21 and 21. it's going to be as well, isn't it? Which is going to break down to all the 7s and all 3s again. So it's another one of them. Call that a Johnny Supertramp number, if you want. So yes, how are we with our little thing here? It is, it's going full hog, isn't it? And what part it's got us up to. Unbelievable. Right, I might just shoot off then, Vicky. Let that one process for 20 minutes. Do a drink and I've had something to eat not long ago, so I don't feel hungry yet, so just go and relax for a bit. Half an hour, get that video uploaded and find another excuse to jump on maybe. Best keeping it in the 1080 like I was best off. Love to know what part it's up to here. Look, we're on 33% now. Gonna be about here, I think, maybe. I know there's a lot more video there. Got that like zoomed all the way out. Yeah, another half an hour. If you wait, I'll get my answer anyway. You will know better. Yeah, I'll be back on live again tonight. I've got a few reasons, even though right now, this exact moment, I can't think what they are, but I've got a few reasons to come back on. So yes, I will do. That's why I'd like to sort of get off now and just have a little bit of, just a little bit of normal time for a bit before I do. And just sit around and have a little look around at what I'm going to be back on about later. But yeah, I'll jump off now. Thanks for sitting in, Vicky. Been here for ages again, nice one. And come back on between 10 and 12 probably. Yes. Because I've got to be what is it? I've got some stuff done, but I can't think what it is, you know. Can you think, man? Can you think, man? Be good to do live Skype. Yes, send a message around to, I'll get older, hopefully through. Go on to our fans, I'm just going to the channel, message him. See if we can just, organise something. If we could just like set a time, what everyone was okay with, basically, that'd be cool as well. So, and that could maybe be in a schedule and that we could sort of stick to weekly, you know what I mean? A little time, little hour or two or something that everyone was okay, no one had to do nothing, even if it's just like, even just normal little things around the house or something, just a little time a night. It might be like, say, 11 PM, everyone knows that, like, the kids are all in bed and something like, you know, so, yeah, we'll sort something out tonight. I'll come on tonight, and while we're here, we'll get something sorted on that. Obviously, I can go around Facebook and whatever as well. Go around Facebook and speak to people there and other things. So yeah, no problem. That'll be cool. Right, we're going to get this done. We'll finish this little experiment soon. This K Burley one. This will be uploaded shortly before we know it. Look, wouldn't you know it? 42. And then look, 42, 02 here. See them down the bottom. Look, 4, 2, 2, 4, 2, 2. Moved off it now. Right, speak soon. And whoever else is watching, thanks for coming in. This is Enchanted LifePath TV. Speak later on.